Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Wherever you're at in the world, welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to be bringing you the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks in the sixth game of the Climax Series finale between these two clubs. The series started with a 1-0 lead to the Fukuoka Ball Club. They rattled off two straight wins to go up 3-0 in the series. And since then, it's been all Hokkaido. They have won three straight to even the series at 3 games apiece. And tonight will be the decider to see who goes on and who is going to be taking on the Hanshin Tigers in a couple of days' time. We're going to give you, first of all, the starting lineups for the visitors from Hokkaido. Leading off tonight and in left field is number 53, Shin Mizutani. Hitting second and in center field is number 12, Kodiyazawa. Batting third and doing the designated hitting is number 99, Franmil Reyes. In the cleanup spot and playing third base is number 30, Yuya Gunji. Batting in the fifth spot and playing first base is number 21, Kataro Kiyomiya. Batting sixth in right field is number 66, Chusei Manami. Hitting seventh at second base is number 38, Kaz Ishii. Hitting eighth and doing the catching is number 33, Yuya Shinto. And batting ninth at shortstop is number 43, Tatsuki Mizuno. And it is going to be Livan Moinelo on the hill. He takes to the mound for the Hawks tonight, who's worked 7 innings in the series so far. He's allowed 5 hits, no runs, nothing earned, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts, pitching to an ERA of 0. Well, that's your starting lineup for the visitors from Hokkaido. Now your lineup for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Leading off in center field is number 23, Yukio Shudo. Hitting second at shortstop is number 0, Hikaru Kawase. Hitting third in right field is number 32, Tetsuro Yanagamachi. The cleanup spot in left field is number 9, Yuki Yanagita. Batting fifth at first base is number 24, Ryoya Kurihara. Batting in the sixth spot and doing the designated hitting is number 5, Hotake Yamakawa. Hitting seventh at third base is number 99, Isami Nomura. Batting eighth and doing the catching, 62, Takashi Umino. And batting ninth at second base is number 8, Taisi Makihara. And they're going to be facing Kota Tatsu, takes to the hill. He's worked 6 innings in the series. He's allowed 6 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and an ERA of 0. And those are your lineups tonight. We've got our friend Tori in the house. Should be a good game with the series tied at 3. Our friend Sackings Fan 1 says, who do you like in this game? Well, I got to be honest with you. I've picked the Hawks from the outset, and I got to stay with the Hawks going forward here. It would be an utter collapse if they can't finish off this series, as they had basically the series in the bag, as it had started 1-0 for them, rattling off a couple of wins, and now they've got the opportunity to close the deal here in a game that nobody thought would happen, because the series would have been over a few games ago. Our friend M. Schroeder says, had the under in the last game, and that 7th was nuts. Absolutely it is. And Tori 0 says, I think that Livan Moinelo will make the difference today. Well, I have to tell you, Livan Moinelo probably will make the difference early on in this ball game. We will find out. If he gets in a groove early, it could be a tough night for the Fighters. If he is in trouble in the first inning or two, that's where the Fighters are going to need to get to him. Once he settles down and gets into a groove, he can be absolutely wicked. We'll be back in just a couple of moments, everybody, as Moinelo is doing his tune-up tosses. We'll be right back with the first pitch in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. The first pitch is right about to happen right now as Moinelo delivers a first pitch fastball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Shin Mizutani. We are underway at the PayPay Dome in Fukuoka. Mizutani, 6 for 20 in the playoffs. He's got a home run, a couple RBIs. He swings and grounds one over to second. Fielded in shallow right field by Makihara. He throws to first, and there is one up and one away here for the Fighters in the first inning, and that's going to bring up the center fielder in Kota Yazawa. Some of the folks that were in here in the chat early on asking the questions, who's going to be the difference? Who do you like in this game? As I mentioned, I've been off by about a year on the Fighters. I didn't think the Fighters would make playoffs last year. Not only did they do that, they lost in the Climax Series. I figured that this year would be a year that they would get to the Climax Series, as they have done. But I don't see them making it to the finals until next year, as that first pitch fastball to Yazawa swung on and fouled away. Count is 0-1. Yazawa getting the start in center field tonight, 2 for 12 in the Climax Series. No homers and a run driven in. Batting from the left side here against the left-handed throwing Moinelo. As Moinelo rocks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. Another one grounded to second. Makihara busy already. Fields it and throws to first, and back-to-back groundouts to second to start the ball game. That's 2 in the books, and it'll bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. I think there's a lot of storylines of these two teams. I think that obviously the Fighters are trending in the right direction. The Hawks are trending in the wrong direction. The Hawks, in particular, are a little bit old on the offensive side. They're going to have to do some retooling there, one would have to think. As the first pitch delivered to Franmil Reyes is a fastball that swung through and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. We'll get to that in a minute. Reyes, 13 for 23 in the Climax Series. 4 homers and 8 RBIs so far. As Moinelo delivers a breaking ball that misses inside, the count runs even to 1-1. Defensively for the Hawks tonight, from left to right, it's Yanagita in left, Shudo in center, Yanagamachi in right. Around the horn from first to third, it's Kurihara at first. Second baseman's Makihara, shortstop Kawase, and the third baseman Nomura, with the battery of Moinelo and Umino. There's a check swing swung on, grounded softly over to third. Nomura fields it. He throws to first, and that is going to do it. A quiet 1-2-3 inning here for the Fighters in their half of the first inning. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the first inning. Your score is the Fighters 0, the Hawks coming to bat. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments right after this on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the top of the order in Yukio Shudo, Hikaru Kawase, and Tetsuro Yanagamachi to come to bat. Our friend M. Schroeder, who has made it in here in the middle of the night, we're glad you could make it in here for this one. He says the Hawks bullpen looked awful in the last game. And to be honest with you, I don't think that's the bullpen we're going to see here tonight to try to bring this one home. I know that they had rolled Darwinson Hernandez, they had rolled Matsumoto, they rolled Yuki Samori and Higashiyama. I think if the chips are down, we're not going to see some of those ones in the ball game when you're going to the bullpen here tonight. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I do think it would be Koya Fuji would be on the docket. I think Yuki Matsumoto would be another one. I think Sugiyama on the back end would all be ones that we would potentially see tonight. So here's the first pitch to Shudo. It's a fastball center cut for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Shudo not having a very good playoff. He's batting an even 100. As the pitch comes, it's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Moving over is the left fielder, Mizutani. He's there to make the catch. And that is one quick out for the Hawks here, and that'll bring up Hikaru Kawase. Defensively tonight for the Fighters, from left to right field, Mizutani is in left, Yazawa is in center, the right fielder is Manami. Around the horn from first to third, it is Kiyomiya at first, Ishii at second, Mizuno at short. The third baseman is Gunji with the battery of Tatsu and Shinto. So that brings Kawase to the plate. He is 1 for 3 in the playoffs. A bit of a surprise start as he takes a fastball down for a ball. Count is 1-0. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Tatsu, who works to the belt and now delivers. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Tatsu again getting the sign, working quickly and delivers. There's a split finger pitch that misses down. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but they said Kawase didn't go. Count is now 2-1. We will bring you all of the games that will go in the Japan Series final between the winner of this one and the Hanshin Tigers. So stay tuned for those announcements on our channel as they become available. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Count goes to 2-2 on Kawase. And one can only hope that this ball game here will be a prelude to tomorrow night's Major League game between the Blue Jays and the Mariners. They're going to be in Game 7. Hopefully that ball game will live up to a billing as well as this one here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Split finger pitch waved at and missed, and Kawase is in the books. That's the first strikeout here for the starter Tatsu. So 2 gone here, and that'll bring up the right fielder in Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Well, for Yanagamachi, batting an even 500 in the Climax Series, he has been absolutely sensational. He's got no homers and 1 RBI. Batting from the left side here, waiting on the first pitch from Tatsu. It's a fastball that misses down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. The thing is that Yanagamachi really doesn't have a lot of pop in the stick. Bit of a slap type hitter. As the pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Tatsu working quickly. Gets the sign from his catcher. Now delivers. Fastball misses way upstairs. Count runs to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Tapping both sides of the dish as Yanagamachi waits here on the offering from the right-hander who kicks and fires. Fastball swung on, grounded softly over to first. Fielded by Kiyomiya. He's going to underhand flip to the pitcher covering, and that is going to do it. Yanagamachi gone on a ground out, 3-1 for out number 3. Well, the Hawks go equally as quiet as the Fighters do in their half of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Your score is we move to the top of inning number 2. 0-0 Fighters and Hawks. We'll be back in just a few.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top of the second inning. It's going to be the heart of the order to come to bat for the Fighters. That means Yuya Gunji, Kotaro Kiyomiya, and Chusei Manami to come to the plate here to face the left-hander Livan Moinelo, and the first pitch delivered to Gunji is driven into the left center field gap. This ball is going to be trouble, and it's going to be off the wall. Rounding first and heading into second is Gunji, and he's got himself a stand-up double here to start inning number 2. And the Fighters fans that are in attendance, they get to their feet, and they're making themselves known and heard here. A one-hop shot off the Gude sign in left center field, and that is Gunji who has done it. So he's aboard at second base. That's going to bring Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate. Mikhail asked the question, are there any mode in Europe to watch the game? That I don't know. As the left-hander delivers, it's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count's 0-1. I can tell you that DAZN has carried it at times in North America. I know when I was in Taiwan last month, DAZN was carrying a lot of the games, but they were mainly the Pacific League games. No balls and 1 strike to the left-handed hitting Kiyomiya. Moinelo delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Juan Carlos is in the house tonight. Welcome you into the stream as well. So no balls and 2 strikes to Kiyomiya. Batting here with a runner at second and nobody out. And here's the pitch from Moinelo. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is going to be lifted into right field. Making the catch on the run is Yanagamachi, not getting back in time to tag. Is the runner Gunji. Kiyomiya hit the ball right on the screws, but right to the glove of the right fielder. He's gone for the first out of the inning, unable to advance Gunji, and that's going to bring up the right fielder in Chusei Manami. I know a couple years ago that there used to be platforms available in Europe that you could watch and listen to the games. But I think those are by the wayside now. So that brings up the right fielder Manami. He is 11 for 26 in the Climax Series between the first round and the finale. Batting from the right side here against the left-handed throwing Moinelo. As the Cuban checks the runner at second, he delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. We're talking about different platforms. And so if you're looking to try to get the games, one way in which to do it is through JSport. Another one is through the Pacific League. As there's a breaking ball that misses down. Count is 1-1. You better have a VPN and you better know some kanji. Help you navigate around some of those places. I understand Dingo TV, some of our American friends were telling us, would provide you some options in the States. I never really looked into that. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Slow breaking ball swung on, grounded over to third. Nomura fields it. He checks the runner back to second. He fires to first. And not a good piece of hitting there by Manami. It's a ground out 5-3, unable to advance the runner to third. And that is going to leave it up to the second baseman in Kazunori Ishii. And that really hurts because they have the leadoff double that ends up being squandered here in this particular moment. They often say that if you get the runner to second base, I think it's like a 75% chance of scoring that run with nobody out. Right now, the Fighters are working on that 25%. So this brings Ishii to the plate. As the left-hander holds to the set. And he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Juan Carlos says he's listening to the game, watching the game from Osaka by DAZN and listening to our channel. That's great. Yeah, we're probably a few seconds behind. I know when I was in Japan last year, it could be as much as a 20-second delay. I'm watching the game live and then following it on my phone. There's a ground ball hit over to second. Makihara fields it. He throws to first, and it's going to be a ground out 4-3. So after the leadoff double by Gunji, Moinelo settles down and gets 3 right in a row. And the Fighters are gone in their half of the second inning. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the second inning. Your score is the Fighters nothing and the Hawks nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It is NPB Playoff Action Climax Series, Fighters and Hawks when we return. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the heart of the order to come to bat here, and that means it is going to be Yuki Yanagita, Ryoya Kurihara, and Hotaka Yamakawa to come to bat. And so the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Yanagita. Yanagita hitting .316 in the playoffs, a homer and 3 RBIs as he waits on the offering from the right-hander. Fastball misses inside, and the count goes to 1-1. And so, by all accounts, as far as I'm concerned here, what I have been led to believe, if this game here goes to a 12-inning tie, the series would be awarded to the Hawks, as there is a split-finger pitch swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-2. The higher seed would be the one that would win out. No, not necessary to play another game tomorrow, but I don't have confirmation on that yet. Our friend Joe says he put 100 on the Fighters. Fastball swung on, taps softly over to third. Gunji moving to his left, fields it. Throws to first, and Yanagita is going to be retired on a ground out 5-3 for the first out of the inning. So one away here, and that is going to bring up the first baseman in Ryoya Kurihara. I think M. Schroeder going back to M. Schroeder, he said a leadoff walk is like 60%. Yeah, it's 50 or 60 in that range. I keep saying I'm going to look it up. I have those numbers and the studies somewhere. And some of my literature, old literature that I have kicking around here. Fastball misses down, count is 1-0. But you're right. They get to a leadoff walk is like 50%. It's like somewhere around like 70% or 75% if you get the runner to second with nobody out. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball that's catching the outside corner, and the count goes even to 1-1. Kurihara batting .200 in the playoffs, nothing across the slash line. Joe says, doubts it'll be the 12th inning. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 2-1. Yeah, hard to tell. Good pitching always beats good hitting. I can tell you that much. And I expect tonight that there will be a lot of good pitching available. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2. And as I said before, I think my opinion is the moxie of the Hawks, the veterans that they are, would be the ones that would potentially win out here. And there is a split-figure pitch swung on and fouled away over on the first base side. The count remains at 2-2. But I think we are witnessing in front of us the changing of the guard in the Pacific League. I think we're going to see a run of fighter victories here over the next few seasons, as they have the blend of youth, they have the blend of veterans, and the youth is playing some pretty good ball. And they're coming into the top of their game. There is a Split figure pitch swung on it, has popped up over on the third base side, giving chases Shinto by the third base dugout, and he's going to make the catch, and Kurihara is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here. It'll bring up the designated hitter in Otaka Yamakawa. And for Yamakawa, well, hitting .235 in the series. He did homer in last night's game. It was a consolation point as that ball was absolutely smoked to center field. But that might be the piece that gets him going. He's got a homer and 2 RBIs in the series, and he swings at a breaking ball and lifts that one foul over on the first baseline into the seats, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Yamakawa. Right-hander Tatsu delivers, and it's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes even to 1-1. And I'm sure that as the night goes on, we'll pick up some more people to come in to listen. It is only 5:20 in the morning on the east coast of the United States and Canada, as that breaking ball was chopped foul past the bag at third base, and now the count goes to 1-2. I also believe, too, tonight, right now, this is thinking out loud and thinking ahead, that it's going to be a mistake by the pitcher that is going to cost a team the runs here. I don't know if it'll be the defense as much as it will be the pitchers leaving something out over the plate. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Yamakawa's gone on strikes. He's gone for out number 3. We are cruising right along here in this one. We are 2 complete. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. 6 in a row retired by the starter Tatsu. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Here it is. Fighters and Hawks locked up as we go to the top of inning number 3. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Livan Moinelo delivers a first pitch breaking ball to Yuya Shinto. That was taken for a called strike. The 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming to bat here in the 3rd inning. As the breaking ball is swung on, it is chopped softly over to short. Kawase fielding it on the run. Sidearm slings it to first, and Shinto's going to be retired on a ground out 6-3. So 1 up and 1 away here to start the 3rd inning, and it's going to bring up the shortstop in Tatsumi Mizuno. So Mizuno stepping to the dish. He is 4 for 23 in the playoffs. Our friend Juan Carlos says he has one question in the MLB. Are we going to be doing the MLB broadcast on this channel? Unfortunately, no. My time constraints and my commitments outside, but we will be doing the Japan series, so hopefully you can join us for that. As there is a fastball that spiked into the ground and swung on and missed by Mizuno, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. So Tatsuki Mizuno waiting on the offering from the lefty as Moinelo delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. I'm Shorter said, can't believe that Hanshin game hit on the under 4.5. Yeah, it's pretty amazing sometimes just how the bookies really have it locked in. There was a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2. That was right off the mask of the catcher, Amino. And in fact, not only to get the catcher, it also looked like, oh, no, I thought it came up and got the home plate umpire two for the price of one, but no, it just went straight up. So no balls and 2 strikes as Moinelo rocks into the windup and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into shallow left field, backing up as the shortstop Kawase. He's going to call off the left fielder Yanagita. He's going to make the catch. And Mizuno is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here, and that's going to leave it all up to the top of the order in Shun Mizutani. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind being able to do some of the MLB games. Love to be able to do the game tomorrow night. We do some MLB games from time to time in the regular season. I think we were able to squeeze about 30 in this year. There's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side. The count is 0-1. But again, that's the same type of deal. It's the constraints of time. Just don't have enough time to be everywhere and to be able to do everything. I wish I could do that, and I wish I could be retired to do it. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball down, goes all the way to the backstop, and the count now runs even to 1-1. Pretty impressive so far for Moinelo. He's got 2 outs here in the third inning, and he's only delivered 24 pitches. As Moinelo rocks and delivers. Fastball on the outside corner, taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. M. Schroeder says he feels that the Jays' bats are red hot right now. Yeah, you know what? It's going to be an interesting test. I think it's George Kirby against Shane Bieber tomorrow. As the lefty rocks and delivers. And there's a breaking ball down in the dirt. They appeal over to the first base umpire who says Mizutani went. And now he's going to be tagged out by Amino, and that is going to do it as he's gone for the third out of the inning. Well, they go in order yet again, do the Fighters. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the last half of the third. Your score is right where we started. Fighters nothing, Hawks nothing. We'll be back in just a couple of moments after this timeout. We've got our friend Steve Rademacher to check out. Be sure after the game is done, go have a look at his channel. He's got some weird things, crazy things, and insane things. That is what Steve is all about. We'll be right back in just a few.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. It is going to be the bottom third of the batting order to come to bat for the Hawks. Namura, Amino, and Makihara to get things going here against the starter Tatsu, who has retired all 6 batters he's faced so far this evening. So here we go back to the live action as the first pitch is on the way. And it is a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. Only 25 pitches for the right-hander in his 2 innings of work. And I would have to say this, as I was mentioning earlier, from what I understand is that this game is the final game, and it could end in a tie. If it ends in a tie, it is the Hawks who get the nod to go through. Another split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count is 0-2. Sometimes have to watch whether it's a split finger or a breaking ball Sometimes the trajectory has a very similar type of movement. That was definitely a split finger. As Nomura has asked for time and stepped out. Nomura has 2 home runs in the series. And he has basically played his way into the lineup. No Kenta Imamiya again tonight. As the pitch on the way is a split finger pitch swung on. It has popped up in the infield. Coming over underneath it is Mizuno. He calls everyone off and makes the catch. That is going to put one in the books here for the bottom of the 3rd inning, and that'll bring up the catcher in Takashi Umino. Schroeder says he liked the pace here. It feels like the other games were so long. Yeah, there facts to that. I mean, a couple of the pitchers for the Hawks last night, specifically in last night's game, just felt like, at least in my opinion, it was just a rain delay with the roof being closed. There's a breaking ball that misses down and the count's 1-0. Just so slow in between pitches. And then the pitching parade that ensued. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. But then we hit the 6th inning, and then all of a sudden they put it into overdrive. Like it was just one slow pitch after another, and then all of a sudden it was like the game just picked up pace. There's a splitty swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. Almost like they were mailing it in, knowing that we're not coming back. We want to get to tomorrow night as quick as we can. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Tatsu delivers fastball swung on, lifted into right field, slicing toward the line, but it is going to slice its way into the seats. It's going to keep the count at 1-2. Winner of this series goes to play the Hanshin Tigers for the Nippon series, which will start a little bit later this week. And we are excited to be on the call for that. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Tatsu delivers. Split figure pitch. Swung on. Tapped slowly down the 3rd base line. And Gunji's going to let it roll foul past him as he wasn't going to get a chance to make the play at first. And it ends up hitting the 3rd base bag, and it's a fair ball. And so Umino is going to be aboard with the first hit of the ball game for the Hawks. And that'll bring up the 2nd baseman in Taisi Makihara. Oh, boy. Looks like a line drive in the box score tomorrow morning. And Gunji probably did the right thing, trying to let the ball go by him, because I don't think he had a realistic chance to make the play at first, even though it is the catcher. And Umino does not run particularly the best. But where they had him positioned, he was rather deep behind the bag at 3rd base. He had to attack the ball and really wasn't going to have a chance. Well, this becomes an interesting piece. It's Taisi Makihara coming to bat as the pitcher Tatsu throws over to first. Makihara, the batting champion in the regular season, led the Pacific League in hitting, 0 for 14 in the Climax Series. First pitch, split finger, swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. Kind of got a feel for a guy a bit like that. Hit .304 in the regular season, tops in the Pacific League. And he can't buy a hit here in the Climax Series. So no balls and 1 strike it is. Waggling his bat from the left side, then he rests it on his shoulders. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. On its way, fastball down in the dirt, blocked by Shinto. And the catcher Umino does not advance. 1 ball and 1 strike it is to Taisi Makihara. Another interesting thing about tonight's crowd, last night I couldn't see an empty seat. And tonight, when we look in left center field, there are patches of empty seats at the game tonight. That to me is actually disappointing. I know it's a rare Monday game in Japan, but in Fukuoka, this is for all the marbles. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That's a split finger pitch, waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. One would have to think that, or would have had to think that this would have been the toughest ticket in town. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Makihara. Tatsu comes to the set. And the pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. This is going to be lined into left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Over is Mizutani to cut it off. Stopping at second is Amino. And so Makihara has broken the ice. He's got himself a single. His first hit of the Climax Series, and it comes at the right time. Runners at first and second with one gone, and it'll bring up the speedy center fielder in Yukio Shudo. Friend M. Schroeder says that, yeah, for a clincher, you got to show up. Yeah. Of all the games, who cares about games number 1 through 5? This is the one that means everything. So I don't understand why there's that gap or area of empty seats. Looks like they're sort of filling in a bit now, but maybe the train from Nagasaki was running a bit late. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded over to first. Stepping on the bag is, Kiyomiya. He throws to second. It hits the runner, and it deflects off into shallow left field. And that's going to bring the runner Amino all the way around from second to score. So the ground ball to first base, Kiyomiya steps on the bag to retire Shudo. As he tried to throw to second to get the runner Makihara, it ends up hitting Makihara and squirting into shallow left field, where it is finally run down by Mizuno, but it is going to bring Amino in to score the run, and it's going to give the Hawks a early 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the third inning. Got to wait to see how they officially score that. I think it's going to be a ground out to 3 for the the second out of the inning, but I think we're going to see an error, more than likely charged to the first baseman Kiyomiya. And that's exactly what it is. It's going to be E3, and that allows Makihara to go all the way around to third, and it's going to bring up Hikaru Kawase to the plate. Well, Kawase stepping in, batting from the left side. The pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. If you are following the game along with us, if you've got a live feed, it's an interesting bat handle that Kawase has. It's a it's not really a mushroom handle, but he's got a large puck-type handle at the bottom. Kind of interesting to see. There's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. For those people who like to put their nickels and dimes down and place their bets, curious to see how this has shifted the betting odds. There's a fastball that's inside. Kawase had squared the bunt, and then he leaps out of the way of a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that was destined for his hip. Or maybe more like the middle part of the body. So he goes down in a heap. It's 2 balls and a strike as he goes and gets some of the spray for his bat. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Kawase. Runner at third, Makihara. 2 gone here. Hawks have a run on the board, and they are looking for more. So the left-handed hitting, Kawase waggling the bat. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up into center field. Yazawa underneath it. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it. Kawase is going to be gone for the third out of the inning, but the Hawks strike first. 1 run in the inning on 1 hit. Check that, 2 hits. There was an error, and there was a runner left aboard. Your score, as we are now a third of the game complete, it is the Hawks 1 and the Fighters no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 4th inning when we return right after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat for the Fighters here in their half of inning number 4. That means Yazawa, Reyes, and Gunji to face the left-hander Livan Moinelo. Moinelo has hardly broke a sweat here. Our friend Mike Cool Hook says, let's play some Hunt Showdown. And we got God is Great in the house. There's a first pitch fastball that misses outside to Yazawa. The count is quickly 1-0. Yazawa 0 for 1 today, grounded to second his first time up. As the lefty delivers, it's a fastball swung on. It's hammered down into the right field corner. This is going to be trouble. It's going to be extra bases. Yazawa rounding first and heading into second. And he's going to be aboard with a leadoff double here to start the 4th. Very similar to the way that the Fighters started the second inning, with a leadoff double. So a double here for Yazawa, and that is going to bring up Franmil Reyes. Our friend God is Great. Here he says, the game's not on TV today. What's up with that? I would have thought for sure this would have been a must-see TV in Japan. Joe says he has faith in the Fighters coming back. Either that or a lot of sake in the fridge. So this brings Franmil Reyes to the plate. Reyes 0 for 1 today, but having a great series as the pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. By the way, just for note, only 26 pitches delivered by Moinelo in the first 3 innings of this one. He is yet to go full count to any of the hitters. He's been all around the zone, and the Fighters have been swinging the bats. 13 for 23 in the playoffs for Reyes. That includes both the first round and the final part of the Climax Series. There was a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul into the seats. And the count now goes to 0-2. Schroeder says Reyes has been a monster. Absolutely. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with him. You would have to think that he's going to wrap up his career in Japan and that they're going to have to pay him handsomely. I was talking about this the other day, or a stream a few weeks ago, and they were talking about fight money. And we were talking about that it's only available to the import players. It's not for the domestic players. There's a fastball that is check swing fouled into the seats, and the count is 0-2. And what happens is after the game, they have a locker, I guess, in most clubhouses, and they would have an envelope with the player's name on it. So depending upon what you did and how you did, you could go into the locker, and there could be the equivalent of $5,000 US in Japanese yen for you. So I would have to think that Reyes would be raking in the fight money in this series. So I'd like to get the take on that from some of the import players when they come back. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-2. So fight money. And so obviously that's cash on the barrelhead. You go out there and you produce. Nothing like getting an extra few grand thrown your way that Uncle Sam will never have to know about. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Reyes, or whatever other country's taxmen would be hunting you down. Reyes waggling the bat here, waiting on the offering from the lefty Moinelo. And the 1-2 on the way. Fastball inside. Oh, had to really go to his left. I thought that was going to the backstop. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the big fella. They do have the open base over at first base. Nobody out here. But certainly with Gunji and Kiyomiya coming to bat and Minami, it's not going to get any easier for Moinelo. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reyes really locked in. Waggles the bat yet again. Moinelo checks the runner Yazawa at second. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball, waved that and missed. Oh, that's a big strikeout there for Moinelo. He sits Reyes down for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the third baseman in Yuya Gunji. Well, for Gunji tonight, he is 1 for 1. He doubled to lead off the second inning, but he was left stranded, as none of the hitters that came aboard after were able to bring him around. So Reyes gone for the first out. Gunji stepping to the plate. Gunji 7 for 26 in the playoffs this year. He's got a homer and 5 runs batted in. Batting from the right side here against the left-handed throwing Moinelo. Again, he checks the runner at second, and now he does a spin move to throw to second base, but he fakes the throw. They are concerned about Yazawa. He can run a little bit, the center fielder of the Fighters. In fact, he can run more than a little bit. He's got some pretty good wheels. Base hit here, I would expect he's going to try to push it around to try to score. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Counts 0-1 to Yuya Gunji. If you just joined us, it was an unearned run in the bottom of the third inning as the first baseman Kotaro Kiyomiya was trying to turn a double play. He threw it into the back of the runner. The back of the runner, Taisi Makihara, that ended up leading to the first run of the game for the Hawks as Umeno had come in to score. And there's another spaghetti move that feigns the runner back to second base, as he is going nowhere right now. So, no balls, 1 strike to Gunji. Moinelo trying to wiggle out of this jam as the lefty works himself into the set position. Here comes the pitch. On its way. Fastball missed a little bit low, and the count goes to 1-1. And waiting his turn on deck is the one who made the error in Kotaro Kiyomiya. So again, Yazawa establishing his lead at second base. He's got a very deep lead off the bag at second, a rather depth lead. Interesting that he's chosen that route. Here's the 1-1. Fastball swung on, hammered into the left field corner. That's going to get a run in. Rounding first and heading to second is Gunji, and we are all tied at 1 as Yazawa crosses the plate. And an RBI double off the bat of Gunji, his second double of the evening. And the Fighters have knotted it back up as we are tied at 1 apiece. That ball was absolutely scorched. And Nomura, the third baseman, he walked up the ladder to try to get it, but he couldn't bring it down. And Yazawa scampers all the way around from second base with the first Fighters run. Well, that's going to bring Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate. Kiyomiya 0 for 1 tonight. He lined out to the right fielder his first time up. 8 for 28 in the series at the moment. And Moinelo not happy with himself. That was a loud hit off the bat at Gunji. The first pitch is a fastball that comes in and nails Kiyomiya right on the elbow pad. So he's going to get first base. That's going to put runners at first and second with 1 out. It's going to bring Chusei Minami to the plate, and it's going to bring the pitching coach on a trot out to the mound. So I'm curious to see what the Hawks have up their sleeves in the bullpen and what other starters would be available. The trainer is out to have a look at Kiyomiya. So he's also getting attention while they have this conference on the mound. Well, Well, that is the mound conference is over. Kiyomiya looks like he's going to be okay. And Chusei Minami coming to the plate, who is 0 for 1 tonight. Minami grounded out to third in the second inning. He's 11 for 27 in the playoffs. So Moinelo getting his sign from his catcher, Mano, as he tries to wiggle himself out of this jam here in the fourth inning, as the lefty holds set, now delivers. Fastball misses way outside, and the count is 1-0. Joe says momentum. Yeah, momentum is on the side of the Fighters right now. And they are like sharks in the water looking for more. And Minami is somebody you got to be worried about. He could put a ball into the seats. He doesn't have any homers in the playoffs as of yet. And there is a breaking ball that cuts across for a called strike, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Fighter fans who've made the trip are on their feet, giving it all they got. Minami extends the bat in front of the body. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to short. They go to second for 1, back to first. It's not going to be in time. That's going to be a fielder's choice. It's going to retire Kiyomiya 6-4. He's gone for the second out of the inning. Gunji is safe at third. Minami legs it out, still runs pretty good. He is safe on the fielder's choice, and that is going to bring Kazunori Ishii to the plate. Schroeder said, we talked about a fast game, and then all the action is taking place. Yeah, I generally always have a rule of thumb. It's usually about 3 innings per hour. And so right now we are definitely under that pace right now. And also, if you can get through 5 in 90 minutes or under 90 minutes, you're in a pretty good clip. I'm curious to see how they're going to manage the starters here tonight. Like in Major League Baseball, probably Shane Bieber has got to be worried as soon as he gives up a hit tomorrow night, he might be coming out of the game. Drives me nuts. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Ishii. Ishii 0 for 1 tonight, 2 for 16 in the playoffs, batting $1.25. Moinelo getting the sign from his catcher as he's ready to go back to work again. Lefty versus the lefty. Got to keep your eye on the runner Minami over at first base. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. And it is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into deep center field. Moving back to the edge of the warning track to make the catch is Shudo. And that is going to retire Ishii for the third out of the inning. And that'll do it here for the Fighters. But they get on the board in the inning. 1 run on the benefit of 2 hits. No errors and 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the fourth. We are all locked up at ones. We'll be just back in just a couple of moments with all the action right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of inning number 4. It'll be Yanagamachi, Yanagita, and Kurihara to come to bat here to face the right-hander Kota Tatsu. Begin his 4th inning of work. It is A 1-1 ball game as interestingly enough, the Fighters able to respond in their half of the fourth. That's always something, too. Our friend Joe earlier said about momentum. When the Hawks scored a run in the third inning, that's your time for your pitcher to come up and stick it right into the opponent's face and put up a 0. And Moinelo wasn't able to do that as he was able to let the Fighters get that run right back. As the first pitch is on the way, it is a changeup that floats in for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Yanagamachi. Yanagamachi, as we mentioned, he has been absolutely outstanding in the playoffs, 10 for 21. As the right-hander delivers, there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander kicks and fires. Fastball misses down. Count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yanagamachi. Right-hander gets his sign, works himself to the belt, and now he kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses down. Count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then at what point are they going to start playing some small ball? In the previous years, I don't see the Hawks as a big small ball team. They have a couple guys who can do it. Imamiya obviously not in the game. There's a fastball that misses inside. The count is 3-2. The Fighters, we saw in last night's game, the suicide and the safety squeezes. They almost scored 2 on a suicide squeeze last night. Ended up, I guess, was Kiyomiya got gunned down at the plate for the third out of the inning. Here's the 3-2. Fastball swung on and missed. Yanagamachi swung at ball 4. He's going to be in the books for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the left fielder in Yuki Yanagita. The only way I can put that would be frustrating. Frustrating to watch Yanagamachi swing at that pitch. So 1 gone here in the 4th inning, and Yanagita to the plate. He is 0 for 1 in this one. He's grounded to third his only time up. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a split-finger pitch swung on and missed. That is quickly 0-1. Shorter said that was like the back-to-back homers in the 7th and the 8th. There's a fastball swung on, grounded softly to second. Ishii fields it in shallow right field, throws it to first, and that is going to retire Yanagita on a ground out 4-3. So 2 in the books here, and that'll bring up the first baseman in Ryoya Kurihara. So not a bad outing so far for the right-hander Tatsu. 3 2/3 innings. That was his 50th pitch of the ball game so far. So Kurihara, 4 for 21 at the plate, swings at the first pitch he sees. He lifts this one into deep center field. Moving back just on the edge of the warning track is Yazawa. He's there to make the catch. And the Hawks are going to go quietly in their half of the 4th inning. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Your score as we move to the top of the 5th inning. We are all locked up at ones. And we'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action for you right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat here for the Fighters in their half of inning number 5. Shinto, Mizuno, and Mizutani, the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, to face Moinelo. And the first pitch is a breaking ball swung on and missed. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Shinto. 43 pitches through 4 innings for the lefty Moinelo. A lot of gas in the tank left for him, I would have to think, as the lefty rocks himself into the windup and delivers. Another breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count is now quickly 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Wonder what tricks the big boss might have up his sleeve tonight for the Fighters. And where the chess game will start to come in late in the game with the defensive changes, pinch hitters, and all the rest, as that breaking ball is tapped foul, and the count remains at 0-2 to Shinto. If you're just joining us tonight, as we mentioned earlier, we're going to be on for all of the Japan Series games, so late night in North America, especially if you're on the West Coast. If you're on the East Coast, it'll be more than likely 5 or 5:30 first pitch, as that breaking ball misses down and the count goes to 1-2. The exact times of the games they haven't announced yet, but I do believe the first 2 games of the series will be hosted by the Tigers. As the 1-2 is on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on and it's chopped foul over right to the third base coach's box, and the count remains at 1-2 to Shinto. Other than the bat to Franmil Reyes that lasted 6 pitches, the last at bat, this bat here is down tied for the longest at bat of the ball game to face Moinelo. This is going to be pitch number 6. As it's on its way, it's a fastball swung on. It is popped into the stands foul, and the count remains at 1-2. M. Shorter says a lot of off-speed pitches. Yeah, it seems like the second time through the order, he has really been relying on his off-speed pitches. First time through the order, he was more establishing the fastball. There is a cutter that swung on and grounded foul, and the battle will continue here to Shinto. And that would be pitch number 50 of the ball game here in the 5th inning for Moinelo. And he's had to work here. Here comes the 1-2 again, as the lefty gets the sign and rocks and delivers. There's a breaking ball down. Good stop there by Imeno, earning his money even when there's not anyone on base. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Left-hander against the right-hander as Moinelo gets the sign from his catcher. He takes a quick peek. He nods in agreement, and he rocks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, chopped softly over to short, fielded on the run by Kawase. He throws to first, and Shinto, with a quality at bat, is going to be retired on a ground out 6-3. He's out for out number 1, and that is going to bring up the shortstop in Tatsuki Mizuno. It was a 9-pitch at bat. That was the longest at bat of the evening by far. Well, that brings up the shortstop Mizuno to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight, 4 for 24 in the Climax Series. That's including the first round and the finale here, as there's a breaking ball that misses down in the dirt. The count is 1-0 to Mizuno. I was talking about this the other night. I've got from a few years ago, I don't know if it's changed or not, but when Coach Casey was the manager at Oregon State University, their philosophy for the pitchers was, if you can't throw a pitch 60% of the time for a strike, you don't have a pitch. And right now it's starting to look that way here for Moinelo. He's having a hard time getting the breaking balls across. There's a fastball swung through and missed, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Mizuno. It's interesting analysis, though, when you think about it. The target at a big league level is to throw 2/3 strikes. Only a couple of pitchers a couple of years ago who were north of 70%. Fastball misses outside. It's now 3-1 to Mizuno. I didn't really look this year to see who was above that 70% threshold. I know Marco Gonzalez, when he was healthy a couple of years ago with the Mariners, was one of those. Fastball swung on, grounded to the right side. Fielded in just into the shallow outfield by Makihara. He throws to first. And Mizuno's gone on a ground out 4-3 for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up the top of the order in Shun Mizutani. Well, for Mizutani, 0 for 2 tonight. He has grounded to second, and he has struck out in his 2 trips to the plate. And the right-hander Tatsu emerges from the dugout, ready to start playing some catch. So his night will continue in the next half inning. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down. Count is quickly 1-0 to Mizutani. For the entire playoffs, 6 for 22 with a homer and a couple RBIs. Mizutani getting the start in left field here again tonight. One would have to think that he will be replaced for defensive reasons if the Fighters were to take the lead late. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-1. That seems to be the general rule of thumb, or at least the general way that the manager, Shinjo, uses Mizutani, not a defensive guru by any stretch. As there's a fastball that misses down, the count goes to 2-1. So just as efficient that Moinelo was through the first 4 innings, he has struggled here. 17 pitches already in the inning. Another fastball misses down, and the count goes to 3-1. So with that being kept in mind, it makes you wonder if he's going to start thinking or at least the manager of the Hawks has got to start thinking about the bullpen here. He's starting to fall apart a little bit. Is Moinelo. So the manager, Hiroki Kokubo, have to start making some decisions. And here comes the 3-1 pitch to Mizutani as the lefty rocks and delivers. Breaking ball at the knees, take it for a called strike, and the count now runs full. I would think that Moinelo will get the 6th inning, but getting into a spot in the batting order where he's going to be facing Yazawa, Reyes, Gunji, Kiyomiya, if you can entrust him to get through those 3 or 4. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. Mizutani's in the books for the second time tonight. And that is a strikeout, at least in our books, number 3 for Moinelo. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters in the 5th. We are now halfway through the ball game. It is 1-1. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board in the 5th for the Fighters. Bottom of the 5th for the Hawks coming up here in just a few, and we'll be back to call it for you after this timeout. Appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Be right back after this. We got ourselves a 1-1 ball game. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th inning, and we'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is Hotake Yamakawa leading it off here to start the bottom half of the fifth inning, and he takes a split-figure pitch outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Yamakawa tonight is 0 for 1. He struck out his only time up against Tatsu. There's another breaking ball that misses outside. The count goes to 2-0. Our friend M. Schroeder says, does the NPB ever do the new popular thing where they have a opener? It starts the first inning, and then they bring out their pitcher so they don't see the top three hitters in the batting order 3 times. There's a split-finger pitch misses down. It's now 3-0 to Yamakawa. I'm not to say I haven't seen it yet, but I'm not sure that would say that it's not coming. They do sometimes do some of that stuff, but it's more like in a testimonial game, where what they'll do is at the end of the year when the game's kind of, I don't want to say mean nothing, as that fastball misses outside, it's going to be 4 straight balls to Yamakawa. He's aboard with a walk. That's going to bring Asami Nomura to the plate. I've seen it before, but not with regularity like they do in Major League Baseball, and not for the same reason. As I mentioned, there was a pitcher for the Fighters in September. I can't remember who it was. It was his retirement game. He wasn't going to be playing anymore, and he came out and pitched to a couple of batters, and before the inning was over, I guess he got the first couple outs, and then they came out with flowers and handed it to him and walked him off the field to a large ovation, and then they brought in the starter to get the game going. Sackings fan 1 says, Shohei brought me here. Well, that's great. And we're glad you're here, and hopefully you can stick around for a little bit more. So Nomura is up to bat here. The runner at first is Yamakawa. I wouldn't think of this as a bunt situation because Yamakawa is definitely not the guy who can run. There's a breaking ball swung on it, is chopped past the third base coach. Foul. Count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning, locked at 1s. For a big guy, Yamakawa doesn't run all that bad. But not all that great either, mind you. I think his lateral movement is better than what a lot of people give him credit for. It's a straight ahead movement that's not the best, as there's a split figure pitch missing down and away, and the count goes to 1-1 on Nomura. I think if you're a Hawks fan, you'd feel more comfortable if they could stick another run on the board. And the sooner the better. Put the Fighters on their heels. Longer this game stays at 1-1, I'd have to say that maybe my needle should push towards the Fighters. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, but it's going to hook foul. As Mizutani ran out of real estate, so 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nomura is really feeling it at the bat. 2 home runs in the series. He put a charge into that one, but just hooked it foul. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner at first, Yamakawa, and nobody gone here in the 5th inning. As our friend M. Schroeder pointed out, it's about 50-50 chance. A leadoff walk can get you a run. There's a split fingers pitch. Swung on and missed, and Nomura's in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. And by our counts, that is the 4th strikeout recorded by the starter Tatsu tonight. So Sackings fan 1 says, what did you think of Shohei's performance in Game 6? That was incredible. I don't know if it was Game 6 as much as it was Game 4. To complete the sweep. Show for the ages. 3 home runs, and he struck out, 10 or 11 batters? Crazy. Well, this brings Amino to the plate, who's 1 for 1 tonight, and he's already showing like he wants to bunt. But now he pulls his hands back, and we're ready here. Let's see what he does. No sign of the bunt as they fake a throw over to first base. Major League Baseball's got to love this Shohei Ohtani stuff that's going on right now. Now he's squaring to bunt again, but he pulls back. Joe says Ohtani is overrated. Yeah. Fastball upstairs. Yeah, I don't think that. I think all other 29 teams, including the Angels, who would want him back, definitely would want his services. So 1 ball and no strikes as the right-hander works to the set. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. Count goes even to 1-1. The question is, do you think Ohtani was betting on games? That I don't know. That's hard to say. I will say this, that he's got to know where that money's going, though, if you're semi on top of stuff. I don't know about you guys, if you got friends that will suddenly loan you $1 million. There's a pitch that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-1. Michael Hook says, do you think the Mariners can beat the Blue Jays tonight? Yeah, I do. But I do think the Blue Jays are swinging the bats, and they're playing generally decent baseball, minus the first 2 games of the series. Our friend CV in the house. Welcome, CV. Glad you can make it in. This is a big game here tonight. As again, Tatsu fakes a throw over to first base, and getting back easily is the runner, Yamakawa. Shorter says that guy took 20 years. Got 20 years. Yeah, absolutely. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Count goes to 2-2. CV baseball card collector in the house here. He might be able to give his 2 thoughts on that. That's for sure. He's an Angels fan. We don't hold that against him by any stretch. Michael Cook says the Jays can definitely beat them at home. Yeah, I think the pitching is in favor of the Jays. I think all hands are on deck. Outside of the starter Yusevich last night, everybody should be ready to go. Here's the 2-2. And it's a split finger down in the dirt, and chasing it was Imeno, and he's going to be gone for the second out of the inning. So 2 outs, and that leaves it all up to Taisi Makihara. Well, for Makihara, he had a single and was a contributor to get that first run in. It was the error by Kiyomiya that allowed Imeno to score the first run of the game and the only run of the game for the Hawks. So Makihara, with his first hit of the series, now has a batting average that doesn't have triple zeros. He is 1 for 15. So if you need somebody to get hot, this is the time and the place for it to happen. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, past the diving second baseman Ishii into center field. And stopping at second is Yamakawa. So he knows his shortcomings. He's going to stop there. That's going to put runners at first and second, and it's going to bring the top of the order in Yukio Shudo to the plate. So the Hawks here have something brewing. The only problem is you got Yamakawa on at second base. So now we've got 2 aboard here. Top of the order, Shudo stepping to the plate, 0 for 2 tonight, 1 for 12 in the series. Another one of the Hawks players who has really, really struggled. Shudo's a tough man to double up. He led the Pacific League in stolen bases. He can absolutely fly. And there is a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. Count is quickly 0-1. Joe is already etching the name of the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series trophy. And you might be right. But they still got to play the games. So no balls and 1 strike as the right-hander works himself to the belt. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down. The count goes to 1-1. if there's one way that they could probably mess it up, and that would be Dave Roberts' computer probably telling him otherwise, a different strategy, rather than just going with the horses that he has. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Shudo. Runner at second, Yamakawa. Runner at first, Makihara. 2 gone here in the 5th inning. Hawks looking to cash in another run. There's a fastball under the hands, taken for a called strike. Shudo didn't like the call based on his reaction, the way that he stiffened up. We'll get a look at the replay on that one. Might have a case. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. As the right-hander again checks the runner at second. Here's the 1-2. Fastball swung on, lined on 1 hop up the middle. They throw to the, oh my goodness, Mizuno fields it on a hop. He throws it to the second baseman, Ishii covering the bag. And the second base umpire has ruled that Makihara has slid in safely. We're going to find out right now if that is the case or not. If that is the case, then it's going to be bases loaded here for the Hawks. If it's not the case, well, then the inning is going to be over on a fielder's choice. So they wasted no time, did Shinjo, getting off his seat to go ask for the video assistant referee, or umpire in this case. We'll get a look at it, the replay. I'll let you know what I think here. It was a nice play by Mizuno to have to make the play. Ishii never really got to the bag in time. Well, at first look, I can't really tell. At second look, oh boy. I'm going to want a different angle. Let's see this angle here. Oh boy. Well, I got to tell you, I think Ishii might have got in there before Makihara was able to make it in. I think the call is going to stand. We're going to wait here for the umpire to come back. What a way to end the 5th inning if that is the case. The first angle, and here we go. What is the result? Oh boy, I guess they've upheld it. I thought for sure we were going to be putting it down as a fielder's choice. No, it's going to be a base hit. So they say that Makihara got in before there. The one replay that we saw, I got to tell you, the first 2 replays, I thought that for sure Makihara got in. And then the third one we saw, I'm pretty sure it looked like he turned it over. But now we got the bases loaded here. So don't go away yet. So Yamakawa, the runner at third, Makihara at second, Shudo, the runner at first, and it's going to bring up the shortstop in Hikaru Kawase to the plate, who's been anemic today at best. So if you guys get a chance to check the replay on that one, oh boy. Not sure what the umpires were seeing on that. Certainly the first 2, I got no argument where, yeah, I could see that maybe he could be safe, but the other one looked like it was definitive. Maybe they forgot to look at the third replay. So Kawase is 1 for 5 in the series, and he takes a split finger pitch down for ball 1. It's a big at bat here for the shortstop of the Hawks. 1 ball and no strikes, bases loaded. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 5th inning, all locked up at ones. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Tatsu. Kawase with that really thick puck-handled knob of the bat. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball center cut for a called strike. He was taken all the way, was Kawase. Our friend Joe says that Vegas called, yeah, or whoever it was, probably had a direct line into the call there, that's for sure. If you guys are on Instagram tonight, go look at the highlights and you guys be the judge. So here comes the 1-1 pitch on its way. Fastball swung on, line into right field, going to get down for a base hit. That's going to get a run in. As Yamakawa comes in to score, stopping at third is Makihara. So they play station-to-station baseball, do the Hawks. RBI single off the bat of Kawase. Shuto advances to second. Over to third, Makihara, and the second run of the game scored by Yamakawa. And the Hawks still have something brewing here, and the manager Shinjo still ticked off about the call at second base. And probably rightfully so. Well, that brings Tetsuro Yanagamachi to the plate. And for Yanagamachi, 0 for 2 tonight. He has grounded out and struck out in his 2 trips. So M. Schroeder says this game is about to blow up. It possibly could. Got to wonder if they've got the bullpen moving here at this point, or if Shinjo's going to ride this out. Here comes the offering to the left-handed hitting Yanagamachi, and it's a split-finger pitch taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Yanagamachi tonight is 0 for 2. He is grounded to first and struck out in his 2 trips to the plate. Just as a reminder, after this half inning, they take the 5-minute break in between innings, and we'll take a break as well. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Grounded over to third. It's going to be a race to the base. And no, he's safe. Shuto is safe at third. Oh, my goodness. And he overslid the bag. And here comes Shinjo out again looking for the VAR. Oh, boy. I don't think the Fighters are going to win this one. Shuto looks like he won the race to the bag against Gunji. And if he's safe, that means another run has scored. Now, he hit the base and then overslid it, but Gunji then would have to apply the tag. So let's see what the umpires come up with here. Oh. So if the Fighters fans didn't like the first replay call, I don't think they're going to like the second one either. We'll get a look at the replay right now. So Yanagamachi hits the ball in the screws. Gunji gets it. Oh, he's going to be out. He's going to be out because he applied the tag to the runner on the shoulder before he got to the base. So I'm just going to put it right. If this call is upheld, then there needs to be an investigation into the NPB officials. But that is going to be a fielder's choice. I'm going to put it in the books, as Shuto is going to be gone for the third out of the inning. We'll wait for the official call to come back. And there the umpires come out, and they got the right hand that goes up, as it rightfully should. Well, we got ourselves a new ball game again, as the Hawks have scored a run in the inning. 1 run on the benefit of 3 hits, no errors, and there were 3 left aboard. Your score here as we now move to the top of the 6th inning. It is the Hawks 2 and the Fighters 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back after this timeout with all the... It is a break here of about 5 minutes, and then we will be back with inning number 6. Welcome back, everybody. Livan Moinelo is still on the mound, and he delivers a first pitch breaking ball outside to Kota Yazawa for ball one. Yazawa, Reyes, and Gunji to come to bat to face the Cuban lefty, as there's a fastball ticket for a called strike, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Moinelo getting the sign, ready to go back to work as he rocks himself into the windup and delivers. There's a breaking ball that falls in for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. Yazawa is 1 for 2 tonight. He has a double in 2 trips. He did score the only run of the game for the Fighters, as the lefty Moinelo rocks and delivers. Breaking ball in the dirt, swung on and missed, and Yazawa is down on strikes. He's gone for the first out of the inning, and by our counts, that is only the 4th strikeout recorded tonight by Moinelo. And that'll bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. Well, for Reyes, hitting .474 in this series. He's 0 for 2 tonight, which puts him at 13 for 25 overall between the first round and the final round of the Climax Series. So the lefty Moinelo rocks into the windup and delivers. First pitch fastball misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Reyes. Tapping both sides of the plate. He has been an absolute beast for the Fighters here in the playoffs. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It is popped up into shallow right field. Backing up on it is Makihara. He's underneath it, and he makes the grab, and that is going to retire Reyes for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here in the 6th. That's going to bring up the third baseman in Yuya Gunji. Got to say, Reyes in particular, who's had himself a pretty good series, certainly has not enjoyed the fruits of his labor tonight. So Moinelo ready to go. He rocks himself into the windup, and the first pitch coming to Gunji is a slow breaking ball that just misses out, up and away. Gunji tonight, 2 for 2, 2 doubles in both of his trips, and he's got an RBI, driven in the only run of the game for the Fighters so far. As the lefty Moinelo delivers again, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. I got to say, that last inning, that it was a heads-up play by Gunji. He didn't win the race to the base to Shuto, but he did get the tag on the shoulder, which was a pretty cool play indeed. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-2 on Gunji. He has had a steady diet of slop thrown up to the plate here in this at-bat. He's watched each one of the pitches go by. Joe says the refs cooked the Fighters. Yeah, they must have called the NFL war room. Boy, that play at second base is going to be talked about, I would think. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded up the middle. Oh, what a nice play by Kawase, ranging to his left, slides to his knees, does a 360, throws to first, and that is going to end the inning, as Gunji is going to be retired on a ground out, 6-3 for the third out here. And that is going to do it for the Fighters in inning number 6. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving to the back half of inning number 6. It'll be the heart of the order to come to the back for the Hawks when we return, but right now it is 2-1 Fukuoka as we move to the bottom half of the 6th.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
Welcome back, everybody. The heart of the order to come to bat here for the Hawks in inning number 6. That means Yanagita, Kurihara, and Yamakawa, as they are ready to go here. We're just waiting to see if it is going to be Tatsu who is going to be coming out for another inning of work, or if the big boss has finally decided he has seen enough, if he's going to turn it over to the bullpen. Our friend M. Schroeder says the 6th and the 7th innings have been the innings where the runs have been pounded in. And we are about to find out right now if this is still the case. There's a first pitch breaking ball delivered, and it's fouled away. Tatsu still in the ball game. Yanagita fouling off the first pitch. He's in the hole at 0-1. Yanagita tonight has grounded to third and grounded to second in his 2 trips, as the right-hander delivers a fastball that misses up and in, and the count goes even to 1-1. 74 pitches for Tatsu through his 5 innings of work. But it was the last half inning where he really had to work. He faced 7 batters in the inning. There's a fastball that pours in that is swung on and missed by Yanagita. The count goes to 1-2. Hawks took the lead in the 5th inning with a crazy way to score a run. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. I was getting concerned when Yamakawa was at second base. I thought they were going to have to hit 2 doubles to drive him home. It was just station-to-station baseball. No extra base hits for the Hawks here in this one tonight. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And it is a splitter that is swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats down the third base line. 2 balls and 2 strikes it remains. I'm curious to see who is going to be showing the Japan final. I never asked our friend God is Great who is here. If it's going to be TBS, the Tokyo Broadcasting System, usually they pick up the games. 2-2 on the way, split finger pitch that misses down. It's now 3-2 to Yanagita. That was the 80th pitch of the ball game delivered by Katsu. I would think that this has got to be his last inning of work. And I would also think that everybody should be available for tonight's game with the exception of last night's starters, potentially. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 3-2. I would even think that Ito could be available for this one here, even for an inning or 2. Could be a day, depending upon how his workload is. It could be a side session day, so might as well throw your side on the mound for an inning. Season could be done by tomorrow, or at least by tonight. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. On the way, fastball swung on, chopped up the middle, fielded by Mizuno on the run. They're going to have to hurry, and they're not going to get Yanagita. He's going to get himself an infield single. Oh, the old man gets down the line pretty good. That brings a big smile to his face as he's got himself an infield single here. That's going to bring up the first baseman in Ryoya Kurihara. So drinking from the fountain of youth, Yanagita with that chopper here, able to get down the line in a hurry and able to beat it out. Then Shinjo doesn't have to go to video review on that one. We could tell you right now he beat it out. That is going to bring Kurihara to the plate. Let's see if they're going to bunt Kurihara here. And yeah, he is already squaring around. As they throw over to first base and getting back easily is Yanagita. I was saying earlier, the Hawks are a team. I'd be curious, outside of Kenta Imamiya, you take him away and Kawase. I'd like to know how many sacrifice hits that they had during the year. I guess I could go and look that up. But both them and the Buffaloes are 2 teams that I don't see them as teams that like to bunt a whole lot. But the truth will be told. If we take a look at the final statistics, there's a bunt, it's down, and it is just going to roll foul on the first base side. So strike 1 to Kurihara. Look at the team statistics. Try to see if we can get something overall. I don't know if they give individual performance. I just don't know if they give you a full team performance. I think they do. Just have to be able to try to locate that as well. So no balls and one strike to Kurihara. Runner at first, Yanagita. Nobody out here in the 6th. He squares the bunt again. This time he gets it down, and it's a good one. Fielded by Tatsu. He throws to first. It was covered by Ishii. It's going to go as a sacrifice 1-4. It's going to advance Yanagita over to second. So Kurihara gone for the first out of the inning. It'll bring Hataka Yamakawa to the plate. Well, ironically, I guess I was wrong. SoftBank Hawks have 95 sacrifice bunts. I guess if you take away Imamiya, the all-time Pacific leader, might be a different story. The team with the least amount of sacrifice bunts, shockingly, is the Fighters. They only had 57 during the regular season. So there's your answer. The Saitama Cebu Lions had 88. They were nestled in behind the Hawks. So our crack team of reporters was able to dig that out, and we pulled it up for you. So here comes the first pitch to Yamakawa, and it's a fastball center cut for a called strike at 95 miles an hour on the gun. I think Yamakawa might want that one back. You can see he's got a interesting look on his face. So no balls and one strike. Yamakawa really has his bat held high. It's almost at bill level of the cap. Fastball comes on inside and hits him on the forearm. And Yamakawa, I hope it's the forearm and not his hand, but he's going to reach first. He is not the happiest of campers, the big man, but he'll take it nonetheless. So he is aboard on a hit by pitch. And that is going to bring up the third baseman in Asami Nomura. So in that last half inning, I forget if it was our friend Joe or our friend M. Schroeder saying that they got to think about taking Tatsu out of the ball game here. I don't know what they're waiting for. They got runners at first and second. Finally, Kato was on the phone to the bullpen. The right-hander here is one gasoline can from lighting the mound on fire and letting it blow up right in his face. And Nomura, who has a couple of home runs here in the series, is stepping to the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He has popped a short, and he has struck out in his 2 trips. As the pitch on the way is a split finger pitch swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. If they can somehow get Makihara up in this inning, we'll see if his day can continue. Maybe now he is starting to come out of that slump at the most opportune time. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. As Nomura waits, breaking ball misses up and away, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Thank you again for joining us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. As we mentioned, we'll put our schedule up for the Japan series here in the next couple of days. We'll get all of those games done. And hopefully you can join us for those as well. Here's the pitch. It is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-2 on Nomura. Joe says they still haven't pulled the pitcher yet. No, they're hanging in. And to be honest with you right now, at the bottom 3 hitters in the batting order, one would have to think that even a 50% Tatsu should be able to take care of these 3, or at least the next 2, Nomura and Amino, not exactly big bats. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and Nomura's in the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning. And that is going to leave it all up to Amino. And by our counts here, that'd be the 6th strikeout recorded by Tatsu tonight. And that looks like it could be the end of the night. Finally, and mercifully, Tatsu will have his night finish here. He's not going to get a chance to face Amino The big boss has come out and is going to make a pitching change. And M. Schroeder says the Japanese pitchers get longer leashes. That is facts. Well, that is the end of the night for Tatsu. We'll see what they've got coming in. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We'll keep you entertained with our friend Steve. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice tall cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. Every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is our friend Steve Rademacher keeping us entertained as the Fighters are going to the bullpen. We'll get that confirmation for you in just a moment as to who is coming out to replace Tatsu. He is going to be slated to face the catcher Takashi Umino as we are waiting for the update here. It is going to be a right-hander, and it is going to be Taisho Tamai who is coming on in relief. So Tamai ready to come in as the second pitcher used here by the Fighters in this one. He made 40 regular season appearances, pitching to a 2.25 ERA. So Tamai ready to go here against the right-handed hitting Umino. Umino today is 1 for 2. He had a single and 2 trips. He did score the first run of the game for the Hawks. As the right-hander Tamai works set, here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. Umino entered the game tonight hitting 111. He is now officially 2 for 11 at the plate in the series. Right-hander against the right-hander. Tamai getting his signs. He nods in agreement with his catcher, Shinto. Works himself to the set position. He checks the runner, Yanagita, at second. And here comes the pitch. Fastball, and it gets away from the catcher, Shinto. It's a strike, and everybody's going to move up 90 feet. Oh, boy. This is circa 2023, where the Fighters suddenly forget how to play catch. That was a pass ball that'll be charged to the catcher. But boy, you got to think that they're biting the nails here. He just completely whiffed on it. The ball hit him right in a bad spot, right in the hands, and ends up trickling by, and everybody gets an extra base. So now they got runners at second and third. No balls and 2 strikes here on the catcher, Umino. That is crucial. What a time for a pass ball. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball backs the hitter off the plate, missing inside, and the count goes to 1-2. Joe says Steve is great. Steve's a thirsty guy, that's for sure. So no balls and 2 strikes to Umino. Again, Tamai nodding in agreement with his catcher, Shinto. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Now he kicks and delivers. Fastball misses down. It's now 2-2. All I keep thinking here is, when's the last time we've seen a balk? I saw Trevor Bauer with a balk against the Buffaloes in the exhibition season, and then I've seen crickets since then. Joe says if the Hawks get another run in this inning, he thinks it's over. It'll probably still be the under, but just have to wait and see. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Umino. Right-hander Tamai holding to the set. checks the runners. Here's it delivers. It's a breaking ball missing outside, and the count now goes full to Amino. Waiting on deck is the second baseman, Taisi Makihara. And certainly tonight, it looks like he is coming out of the slump. Our friend Freddie says, please tell the score. Well, that's the ticker running across the bottom of your screen there, Freddie. So here comes the 3-2 pitch as the right-hander delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on, and it's tap foul over on the third base side. The count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. As Freddie is pumped up to be here from Melbourne, Australia. Glad to have you in. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Amino. The runner at third is Yanagita. Runner at second, Yamakawa. 2 gone here in the 6th inning. Hawks are looking to see if they can pound another run across. As Tamai gets the sign, here comes the payoff pitch. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on and missed in the dirt. Shinto fields it. He throws to first, and that is going to end the inning. It's going to be a strikeout, 2-3 on the putout for out number 3. Tamai comes in and does his job, and that is going to do it here for the Hawks in their half of the 6th. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left aboard. We're now moving to the top of the 7th inning. Your score is the Hawks 2 and the Fighters 1. Stick around with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few after this.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 7th inning, and it'll be coming to bat Kitaro Kiyomiya, Chusei Manami, and Kaz Ishii. Our friend Screaming Madden in the house. He says he's got to clock into work, but he's cheering for the Fighters. Livan Moinelo coming out to start his 7th inning of work, as he will be facing Kiyomiya. Kiyomiya is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He lined out to right, and he was hit by a pitch. As the first pitch is on the way, there is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Kiyomiya is 8 for 28 in the playoffs. Batting from the left side against the lefty. As he kicks and fires, there is a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Getting into the deep water here are the Fighters. They've got 9 outs to play with here. As this game is starting to shrink quickly, there's a breaking ball tap foul over on the third base side. The count remains at no balls and 2 strikes. 1-run deficit. The Fighters are looking up here at the Hawks as the lefty Moinelo ready to go back to work. Moinelo rocking himself into the windup. He kicks and delivers. Fastball just misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. And I can tell you, he didn't miss that by much. In fact, if you believe the K zone that they give you, it might have clipped the corner. And now Kiyomiya has asked for time, and it's been granted, and we'll do this all over again. Moinelo heading the count here at 1-2 strikes. And now the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it, breaks the bat of Kiyomiya. The bat went further than the ball. Moinelo picks it up. He throws to first. Oh, man, that bat there was sawed off completely. A lot of shards in the ground. As Kiyomiya was just left with the stub in his hands. Bat absolutely exploded. Comebacker to the pitcher. The bat went flying. It was funny. I hate to say it funny, but the first baseman, Kurihara, had to dodge the bat on his way to first base. It's a ground out 1-3 for the first out of the inning. It'll bring the right fielder, Chusei Manami, to the plate. And now Moinelo rocking into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. The first pitch is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. It was 73 pitches through 6 for the lefty. He is now north of 80 pitches here. And one would think that he's probably going to be the closer in this one as well. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. And the way that he has settled in the last couple innings, I wouldn't bat an eye that that's going to be the case. So Moinelo ready to go again. He rocks himself into the windup and delivers. Fastball misses outside, and the count goes to 2-1 on Manami. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Hawks brass making notes. Was the lefty Moinelo ready to go back at it? So 2 balls and 1 strike. Manami digs himself in. Here comes the pitch from Moinelo. As he rocks and delivers, there's a fastball inside that Manami takes a half swing at and misses, and the count now goes to 2-2. God is Great says, who are you hoping goes to the finals? I said at the outset, I think the Hawks are going to win, and I'd kind of like to see the Hawks and the Tigers, to be honest. As the 2-2 is on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on. It's chopped over to third. The home plate umpire says that it had gone off of Manami's foot. And as I mentioned before, I think that we're going to see a run of Fighters championships over the next few years. Boy, I don't think it got him. I think that was a good sell job by Manami. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Let's see if he could do some damage here with second life. I'm Schroeder said, but anybody's going to be the hero, it's going to be Reyes. And he might get a shot late in the game. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Manami's in the books. He's gone for out number 2. And that is going to leave it up to the second baseman in Kazunori Ishii. Going to look at that replay again. That pitch was just below the knees on the outside part of the plate. Manami not able to get a piece of it. And now we got a pinch hitter. It's going to be Ariel Martinez in to hit for Ishii. So Martinez might be able to turn the ball around. So 2 Cubans facing each other. As the pitch coming from Moinelo is a fastball that misses up. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but they say Martinez didn't go around. Martinez saw action a couple of nights ago. But he's been basically a non-entity for a lot of the part of the season. I'm surprised that he was even on the playoff roster to some degree. Here's the pitch. And there is a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes even to 1-1. So we will have a new second baseman in the next half inning. GL says he's got the RYZFTF Friends to Friends video feed synced with this stream. And he's listening from San Jose. Welcome to the stream. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Martinez. For those on the West Coast that are hanging up with us, it is 4:04 Pacific time in the morning. The East Coasters, it is just past 7 o'clock, and so those folks are a little bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Here's the 2-1. Fastball swung on it, is lifted foul into the seats right behind home plate, and the count goes to 2-2. And for those of you listening in Australia, I'm not sure what time it is, but you guys are definitely closer to being on the time that the Japanese enjoy. That's the one thing that the Australians always say is when they travel in Southeast Asia, they don't have to worry about jet lag. Here comes the 2-2 pitch as Moinelo rocks and delivers. Fastball misses down and in. It's now 3-2 to Martinez. So Martinez looking to try to get on base here with 2 outs. Waiting on deck is the catcher, Yuya Shinto. So Moinelo rubs up the baseball. He's ready to go at it again. Here comes the 3-2 offering to Martinez. Kicks and delivers. Breaking ball misses down and in. It's going to be ball 4. And Martinez is going to get himself a 2-out walk, and that'll bring up the catcher in Shinto. And we'll see if Martinez is going to stay in. That's interesting. Moinelo not happy with himself. Not only that, I wonder if this might be the end of the night for him. He slammed his glove into the ground. You don't see that very often. So conference is over. They're going to leave Moinelo in the game. Martinez has done his job. As he drew himself a walk, they're going to have a pinch runner for him. It is going to be number 58. It's going to be Taiki Narama. And one would expect that Narama would probably go in and play second base. So Narama in to run for Martinez. Got to keep your eye on him here. And this brings Shinto to the plate. 0 for 2 tonight. He has grounded out twice to the shortstop. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Got to keep our eye on Moinelo here. Moinelo, after every pitch, he seems to be, it's like he's trying to stretch himself a little bit. There's another breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. Kind of makes me wonder if this could be the end of the night for Moinelo. I'm Schroeder says pitching angry is so 50-50. Yeah, maybe if it's coming out of the bullpen, you can do it, but certainly not for a starter. Here's the 0-2. Fastball swung on and missed, and Shinto is down on strikes. He's gone for out number 3, and Moinelo does the job here in the 7th inning. He's able to get the side after that walk to Ariel Martinez, and that is going to do it here in the 7th inning. There was no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score is the Hawks 2 and the Fighters 1. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action. Appreciate you guys for being with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Well, I can tell you this. It looks like that is the last act of that last half inning for Livan Moinelo. It is going to be a battle of the bullpens from here on out. More than likely, the Hawks will be trying to turn to their pen to try to get 6 outs here the rest of the way. It is going to be the lefty. It is going to be Uhara who is coming into the ball game, as we saw him last night. So Kenta Uhara on in relief. Made 27 appearances during the regular season, pitching to a 1.11 ERA. And he is going to be facing Makihara, Shudo, and Kawase, the 9-1 and 2 hitters in the order. And the first pitch on the way, breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Makihara. Hawks have 6 hits tonight, and Makihara has 2 of them. As Kenta Uhara is ahead in the count. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into shallow left field. Coming in hard is Mizutani, but he's going to be there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Makihara for the first time tonight. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Yukio Shudo. Well, for Shudo tonight, he is 1 for 3. He's got a single in his 3 trips. He's also grounded out and flown out. So he steps in here batting from the left side against the left-hander Uhara. And he pitches on the way. It is bunted down the third baseline, and it's just going to roll foul. And the count is quickly 0-1. You could see that coming a mile away. And whatever he can do to use his speed to be able to get on. They do have Gunji, the third baseman. He would be up on the proverbial grass. It is all turf in Fukuoka. So he is in front of the dirt cutout. And to be honest with you, I think I'd even move him in a couple more steps. But at the same time, Shudo can slap it by him. Could be off to the races here. Shudo 2 for 13 in the series. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down. The count now goes even to 1-1. Ball and a strike. Left-hander Uhara waits at the belt. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. This is certainly somebody you don't want on the base paths if you were the Fighters. Shudo can wreak havoc. If you remember the last World Baseball Classic, he was the one who scored the run to win it for the Team Japan. There's a fastball swung on, is lifted down the left field line, racing into the corner and sliding is Mizutani, but it's going to get into that temporary seating. And that ball is going to go foul. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Shudo. Mizutani had to come a long way to have to try to get that. And he got on his horse, but he was running out of real estate quickly. Interesting. Our friend God is Great says that the game is not on in his area, but yet they show that TBS is broadcasting the game. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the lefty delivers, it's a fastball swung on and missed, and Uhara strikes out Shudo. 2 in the books here in the 7th inning, and it's going to leave it up to the shortstop, Hikaru Kawase. Nothing like bringing in your left-hander to face 3 lefties in a row, Makihara, Shudo, and Kawase. And for Kawase tonight, well, he had the big blow. He had the RBI single that brought home Yamakawa, which is the difference in this ball game, as he takes a fastball down and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Left-hander against the left-hander. Uhara delivers. Another breaking ball misses down, and it's now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Again, the lefty Uhara delivers. Fastball center cut for a called strike, and the count goes to 2-1. We were talking earlier about the pace of this game, how it was moving along very, very quickly. And now over the last little bit, it has slowed down quite a bit. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now 2-2 to Kawase. Hawks enjoying a 2-1 lead here as they are batting in the last half of the 7th inning. Fighters running out of outs. They've only got 6 outs to do some damage. And I'd say stay close, everybody, because I think the best is yet to come in this game. There's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled right off the mask of the catcher. 2 balls and 2 strikes it remains. I think they were still not out of the woods yet. As I said, Moinelo was getting high fives all the way around, so his night is pretty much, I would say, over with. Just a question of who the Hawks will turn to next out of their pen. Here's the 2-2. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats. Count remains at 2-2. If I'm a betting person, I would say Sugiyama's in the 9th. Would they bring Fuji in the 8th? I'm not sure. Or do they bring in Matsumoto? I guess that's the decision for the manager, Kakubo, that he has to make. He knows his pitching staff as well as anybody. The first-year manager was the pitching coach last few years. There's a breaking ball that misses. I'm not sure where that pitch missed, but the home plate umpire sure didn't go up with the right arm. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is to Kawase. Uhara thought he had himself strike 3. I got to tell you, the pitch didn't look all that bad. Tatsuro Yanagamachi waiting his turn on deck. Here comes the 3-2 offering. As the lefty delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It's going to be lifted into the seats foul. The count remains at 3-2. We're talking about lefties. It's a string of a whole bunch of lefties in a row. Makihara, Shudo, Kawase, Yanagamachi, Yanagita, Kurihara, all left-handed sticks. It's not until you get to Yamakawa you're going to see a right-handed hitter. And it's funny, you've got 3 right-handed hitters all back-to-back-to-back in the order. Here's the 3-2. Breaking ball misses inside. It's going to be ball 4. Kawase is going to get himself a 2-out walk, and that is going to bring Yanagamachi to the plate. I can tell you, the pitcher, Uhara, didn't like the call a couple of pitches ago. He thought he had struck out Kawase, but Kawase wins the battle. A 9-pitch at bat to draw him a walk. Uhara's going to get himself a new baseball, and he's going to have to go back at it here with one of the hottest hitters in the Hawk lineup. Yanagamachi 0 for 3 tonight, but he is 10 for 23 in the Climax Series, batting .435. Uhara holds at the belt. Here comes the first offering. Fastball swung on and pop foul into the seats over on the third base side of home plate. No balls and 1 strike now to Yanagamachi. Gabrielle asked the question, is it possible that the Hawks lose? What do you think? Well, if you were here earlier on, you would have known that we would have said that we think the Hawks are going to win. Fighters are a year away from really starting to do more damage. I think the Fighters' best years are about to unfold. There's a fastball taken for a called strike under the hands, and the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. We are in the bottom half of inning number 7. 2 gone. The runner at first is Kawase. No balls and 2 strikes to Yanagamachi. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball waved at and missed, and that is going to do it as Yanagamachi's down on strikes. He's gone for out number 3, and the Hawks are done here in their half of the 7th. Well, we got a pitching change coming up. We'll unveil that when we return in just a few. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left aboard. We're through 7 complete. It is 2-1 for the Hawks. It's a nail-biter in Fukuoka, and we'll have it for you when we return after this. Hang tight, everybody.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the right-hander Yuki Matsumoto, who made 51 appearances in the regular season, pitching to a 1.070 ERA. And he is going to be slated to face Tetsuki Mizuno and then the top of the order, Shun Mizutani and Kota Yazawa. So the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat here. For Mizuno, he is 4 for 25 in the Climax Series. That's in the first round and the final. And the first pitch is a fastball that's poured in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Matsumoto has a fastball, and he can attack the hitters. He is armed and dangerous, so here comes the 0-1 offering. Pitch on the way, fastball misses just outside. That was at 94 on the gun. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Gabriel asked the question if it's going to end like this, most probably. Well, we gave you our answer. We felt that the Hawks were the ones that were going to win this. So if you don't want to watch the end of it, just turn it off and look at the score tomorrow. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-2 on Mizuno. I have to tell you, that breaking ball didn't have a whole lot of bite to it. It was a bit of a hanger. I think Mizuno might want to have that one back again if he gets it again. So here comes the 1-2 pitch on its way. Split finger pitch swung on, grounded over to second. Fielded by Makiharu, who's been busy tonight. He throws to first, and that is going to be the first one in the books here in the 8th inning. A ground out 4-3. Mizuno gone for out number 1, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Shun Mizutani. And we'll see if Mizutani comes to bat. If they have the faith in him here, he's 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out twice and grounded out. He's getting in deep into the game. He is coming up to the plate. One would have to think that they will probably look to make a defensive change for him in the bottom half of the inning. There's a fastball that's caught the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So Matsumoto has come in, and all he's done is thrown strikes. 5 pitches and 4 strikes so far. And the pitch on the way is a fastball lined right back to the glove of Matsumoto. Oh, my goodness. Now, there's a play on Instagram you want to see. Mizutani hit that ball right on the screws and right into the glove of the pitcher. The pitcher didn't even have to do anything. He just sort of held his glove there and went right in. Mizutani is gone. He couldn't hit the ball any harder. 2 gone here in the inning. It's going to leave it all up to Kota Yazawa. And our friend M. Schroeder says if that call at second base decides the game, oof. Yep. There'll be a talking point for sure, at least on our end. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is hammered into right field, right to the glove of the right fielder, Yanagamachi, as he catches it on the run, and that is going to do it. And that'll do it here for the Fighters in the top of the eighth inning. They go quietly and in order. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the eighth inning. Your score is the Hawks 2 and the Fighters 1. Looks like the big boss is out making another pitching change. We'll get that for you when we come back in just a few. Stay with us, everybody. It is the bottom of the eighth inning. When we return, it'll be Yanagita, Kurihara, and Yamakawa to come to bat.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Yanagita, Kurihara, and Yamakawa to come to bat. We're just waiting a confirmation on the pitching change for the Fighters, as they will be going to their bullpen again, as that is going to do it. Matsumoto, I got to tell you, there were two balls that were absolutely scorched. He is very, very fortunate. The line drive right back to him and the line drive to the right fielder, definitely for sure difficult. It is going to be Yukiya Saito. Interestingly enough, the closer coming on here in the eighth inning. So Saito on in relief, as he is going to look to try to keep this Hawks offense from scoring another run. 47 appearances during the regular season, had an ERA of 1.35. So Saito on in relief. He'll be the fourth pitcher used by the Fighters in this one. So the big boss making his big decision, using his arguably the best arm we've seen in the playoffs out of the bullpen here in this one now. So Yanagita steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He had an infield hit his last time up. And he swings at the first pitch that was at 99 miles an hour, and he fouls that one away, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. I'm Schroeder says the Jose Fernandez comeback or special. Yeah, in more ways than one, although that one wasn't going to take his head off. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as the right-hander holds set, now delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and that was at 100 miles an hour. He lifts that one foul into the seats, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. As we mentioned, keep an eye on the channel for the Japan series when it all gets going in a couple of days' time. We'll put the official times and mark off and when we'll be making the calls. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, and he flicks his wrists at it and fouls that one away, and the count is 0-2. So it remains. And for those of you who are interested, the Japan series will get going on Saturday the 25th. So that's a few days away. As the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on it, is grounded up the middle. On the backhand side is Narama. He fields it. He throws to first. Oh, what a nice play. Narama, who came in defensively in this inning, as he had come on to run for Ariel Martinez. It's a ground out 4-3. Yanagita in the books for the first out of the inning, and I'll bring up Ryoya Kurihara to the plate. They haven't announced the times of the games yet. If I remember last year, some of the games were going off at the bottom of the hour at 6 o'clock. Normally they start at 1800. If I remember correctly, the Japan series was going at 1830. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside to Kurihara. Kurihara officially 0 for 2 tonight. Popped to the catcher, flew to center field, and had a sacrifice bunt. 4 for 22 in the series. There was a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. So 2 balls and no strikes to Kurihara as he waits here on the offering from Saito. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. And the count now goes to 2-1. Nothing like bringing Saito out against your big hitters. And he's just going after him systematically, one after another. And then it's Yamakawa on deck. That's a fun matchup. Yamakawa versus Saito. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. The count now is 2-2. So Saito gets a new baseball, rubs it up. And he's ready to go back at it here to the first baseman of the Hawks. Shakes his catcher off about 5 times before he gets a signal that he likes. And now he works himself to the set. Here comes the 2-2. Fastball misses down. I guess he could have kept shaking him because that pitch didn't work. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Whatever you do, don't throw that again. That was a split finger pitch that ended up in the dirt, but certainly did not have the hitter fooled. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. As again, Kurihara waggling the bat. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul, and we're going to do the 3-2 all over again. If you just joined us, well, the Hawks opened up the scoring in the 3rd inning. It was Emino came around to score as Shudo had grounded out to first. They tried to turn a double play. They threw the ball off the back of Makihara that ended up in the left field. Gave the Hawks an early 1-0 lead. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Another pitch swung on and another one fouled away. Count remains at 3-2. The Fighters got that one immediately back. It was a leadoff double off the bat of Yazawa. After Franmil Reyes struck out Yuya Gunji doubled home Yazawa, and that cut that even the score at 1-1. But in the 5th inning, the Hawks got their second run of the game. It was a leadoff walk to Yamakawa, and after a pair of strikeouts, Makihara and Shudo singled, and then it was Kawase who had a single to bring home Yamakawa, and that is where we stand right now. And there's a fastball swung on and missed, and Kurihara is in the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here. It's going to leave it all up to Hotake Yamakawa. The last pitch was a 2-seam fastball that actually was more of a sinker than anything. It had a bit of downward run to it. So 2 gone here in the inning, and Yamakawa to the plate. Power versus power. Big fella waits here, and the pitch on the way is a fastball that just misses low and in. Count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Yamakawa waggling the bat. As the right-hander Saito works himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball again, misses down and in, and the count now goes to 2-0. I remember being in person a number of years ago to see a pitching matchup in Detroit. It was Justin Morneau, the first baseman of the Twins, was going head-to-head against Joel Zamaya, who was, at the time, throwing the ball 100 miles an hour for Detroit. And I saw Morneau turn around a fastball that, holy man, I don't think I've ever seen the likes of it before or after. And here's the pitch. Fastball misses down and away. It's now 3-0 to Yamakawa. So 3 balls and no strikes. Yamakawa's been aboard twice tonight. He's walked. He's been hit by a pitch. And there's a pitch that's down. They appeal over to the first base umpire, and he's going to be aboard for the 3rd time as he draws another walk. He's aboard. I would expect a pinch runner here for him in this situation, and that is going to be the end of the night. And we will have a pinch runner coming in here for Yamakawa, and it looks like it is going to be number 25, if I see that correctly. Or is it? Yeah, it is number 25. So we have Shoji into pinch run. I don't see him anywhere on my roster. I'm going to have to do another check. Oh, there he is, Yudai Shoji. And the pitch is a first pitch fastball delivered to Sami Nomura, and he swings through that and misses. The count is 0-1. So Shoji, the runner at first, 2 gone here in the inning. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Sami Nomura. Saito delivers. Fastball misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. I got to tell you, Saito has... It reminds me of when Yuki Matsui used to play for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. It was never an easy inning to get 3 outs. That's what this is looking like right now. It has been a bit of a struggle for the right-hander. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field. Coming in on it is Yazawa, and he's there to make the catch. And guess what? We're going to the 9th inning as the Fighters' season are down to the final 3 outs. They had no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors. There was a runner left aboard. We will have a pitching change when we come back in just a minute, as the manager, Kakubo, has come out to announce the change. And you got to think that it is going to be Sugiyama when we return. It is a 2-1 ball game. We'll be back here in just a few. Our friend Joe is making calls. We'll be right back with you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. The top of the ninth is upon us, and it is going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat, as it is going to be Kazuki Sugiyama on in relief to try to close it out. 3 outs to get, and it is going to be Arias, Gunji, and Kiyomiya, the 3 toughest hitters, arguably, in the Fighters' batting order. There is a change in left field, as it looks like it is the end of the night for Yuki Yanagita, and we are going to have to try to get that one for you as possible. I didn't catch the number of the player who has moved out into left field. So we'll see if that is going to be changed here soon. So here's the first pitch to Franmil Reyes. And that is a breaking ball that misses upstairs for ball 1. And the count is 1-0 to Reyes. Reyes 0 for 3 tonight. He's grounded out, struck out, and popped to second. As there's a fastball that bounces up to the plate. And the count now goes to 2-0. Just wondering if our friend Joe, who is with us here, said that Vegas called. Did he tell you how the game is going to end? As the 2-0 is on its way. Fastball taken on the outside corner for called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1. That's one thing about Sugiyama. He does work quickly. He doesn't waste much time. He goes right back to the windup. Here we go. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and Reyes is in the hole, or is not in the hole, but he's now got down to his final strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. That ball fell right off the table. So Reyes steps out. He collects himself. Now he gets himself back in the batter's box, and Sugiyama ready to go back to work. Here's the 2-2. Fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Reyes stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by right at the knees. He's gone for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the third baseman in Yuya Gunji. So now the Fighters have 2 outs left here. The season on the line. Gunji tonight is 2 for 3. He has doubled twice. He's driven in the only run of the Fighters. He's also grounded to short. But he is the first time he's going to have to face the closer in Sugiyama. And the pitch on the way. Splitter misses down, and the count is 1-0. Torrey says that was some quick pitching. Yeah, he gets the ball, and he goes right at it. Here's the pitch coming again. Fastball down, and the count now goes to 2-0. This is the type of pace that I really enjoy. Get the ball, let's go. So Sugiyama here behind the count again at 2-0. Now he rocks into the windup and delivers. Fastball misses down. It's now 3-0. Joe says the Hawks win on the BS second base call. Yeah, I got to tell you, that's going to be a talking point in this game here if that's what holds up. So 3 balls and no strikes to Gunji. As Sugiyama rocks and delivers. Pitch on the way, fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count is 3-1. I don't think Sugiyama can survive if he's going to fall behind on the hitters like this. Fell behind Reyes 2-0, battled back to strike him out. Fell behind 3-0 to Gunji. As the 3-1 is on its way, fastball taken on the outside corner for a called strike, and now the count is full at 3-2. That is a charmed life if you can come back on back-to-back hitters here. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Sugiyama rocking and waiting here as he gets the sign from his catcher. Here's the 3-2. Split figure pitch swung on and missed in the dirt. Gunji gone on strikes, back-to-back strikeouts. As Gunji is gone for out number 2, and that is going to leave it all up to the first baseman in Kotaro Kiyomiya. So 2 in the books. The Fighters are down to their final out. As the Hawks are trying to punch their ticket to yet another Japan series. So 2 gone here. Kiyomiya at the plate. He's hit the ball hard tonight. He lined out to the right fielder. He's been hit by a pitch. And then he blew up his bat on a ground ball back to the pitcher. Sugiyama rocks and delivers. Pitches a split finger pitch that bounces up to the plate, and he swings and misses. No balls and 1 strike to Kiyomiya. And Schroeder says the under 5.5. All eyes on it here. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. This should do it. Over underneath it with room to make the catch. And that is going to do it. The Hawks are going to win this one here. That ball's been hauled in by the left fielder. It was Ogata who came on in for Yanagita. And Sugiyama's going to get himself a 1-2-3 ninth inning to close the deal. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. It is going to be the Hawks and the Tigers in a few days. Hang with us, everybody. We'll be back to wrap this one up for you in just a couple of moments. What a game this was. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody who stopped in to listen tonight. We appreciate you guys for making our channel what it is, and we've had a lot of fun in doing these games over the last few years. Hopefully more and bigger things to come next year. We'll give it the roundup of this one here. The first run of the ball game scored by the Hawks was in the bottom half of the 3rd inning with 1 out. It was a Takashi Amino single. Taisei Makihara then singled as well. That put runners at first and second. After Yukio Shudo stepped up, he had a ground ball to the first baseman, Kiyomiya. Kiyomiya picked it up, stepped on the bag, and as he threw to second to try to retire Makihara, he hit him in the back. Ball trickled into left field, and Amino came around from second to score the first run of the ball game for the Hawks. 1-0 Fukuoka. Top of the 4th inning, the Fighters responded a double off the bat of Yozawa. After Reyes struck out, Yuya Gunji stepped up and doubled home Yozawa, and that tied the game at 1. But the controversy will come in the 5th inning as the Hawks had a leadoff walk by Yamakawa. After back-to-back strikeouts of Nomura and Amino, up stepped Makihara, he singled, and then Yukio Shudo singled, and it was an interesting play over at second base. Shudo's ground ball up the middle, they fielded it, they threw to second base for the force on Makihara, and the call on the field was that he was safe. They went up to video review, and the video review, the first 2 angles we saw, we kind of agreed with the umpires, but the third review showed clearly that Makihara was not there safely, and so they ended up ruling that it was a safe call, and the bases were loaded. The call was not overturned. Then it was Hikaru Kawase's job to play the hero, and he did just that. He had an RBI single driving home the runner Yamakawa from third. That made the scoreline 2-1, and that is where it stood here in this one. The win will go to Livan Moinelo. It's going to be his first win of the series. He pitched very well tonight. The loss goes to Kota Tatsu. He took the loss in the series. He dropped to 0-1, and the save goes to Kazuki Sugiyama in this one as well. All right, everybody. Once again, we appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We look forward to seeing you again for the Japan series. It starts Saturday. We'll update the schedule on our page here, and hopefully you guys can come on in and join us for all the action during that time as well. Have a great night, everybody, And we appreciate everybody who has listened in. Emma Schroeder, you for hanging out. Our friend Joe as well. Tori, anybody else that I missed, thanks for being here with us tonight. We'll see you Saturday.